Hey YouTube, I wanted to make this video to show off this rifle. This is my dad's rifle. It's a Remington Nylon 12. It's a 22. Me and my brother used to shoot it a little bit when we were kids, and one of those things where it's been in the gun safe for a few years and forgotten about. Out of the blue a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to get it out and look at it and clean it, and had a little trouble figuring out how to break it down, so that's why I'm making this video. Chamber's cleared. There's the magazine tube coming out. Gun's been made safe even before the video started. There's two screws there on the top of the barrel. There's no rear sight anymore. Unfortunately, that's lost and long gone. Ever since my dad's had this rifle, it's had a scope on it. But you need to take those two screws out, and the rear sight if it's present for the takedown. That screw there on the bottom, that holds the magazine tube in. There's a little spring-loaded pin on the bottom, you'll see. And once that screws out, you should be able to take out the magazine tube. And then once the let's see, there it goes. Once the magazine tube's out, then you can the next step is to take out this pin that holds the barrel onto the receiver. Hey, I'm a novice gun guy, so forgive me if I use the wrong terminology or something like that. That pin comes out pretty easy. That punch I'm using, you get bonus points if you can place where that punch comes from. The barrel will just slide right out, and you're pretty much done. That piece comes out. That's, I guess that would be the receiver bolt. I don't know if it's considered the trigger group in there. I don't know if that applies to this rifle or not. That's pretty much it. Searching Google for information about this rifle, I guess it's pretty old, from the 60s. Only limited number were made. I guess it's somewhat rare. I told my dad it actually might be worth a little something. It seems like it's in decent shape. It doesn't seem like there's any rust or anything like that. I mean, I bet if it got a good, thorough cleaning, it would look pretty nice. Maybe my dad could get a few bucks out of it if he ever wanted to sell it. I don't know. Some asshole on Gunbroker is selling one for almost $1,000. I just saw when I searched today. And I guess that one's in pretty good shape, but it seems like a lot of money for a 22 to me. On the barrel, there's some markings. I guess if you can figure out when the barrel was made based on some of the stamping that Remington puts on their barrels. There's no serial number. This gun never was required to have a serial number at the time it was made. The stock, it doesn't weigh much. There's not much to it, and everything goes together just as easily as it comes apart. The trick is just knowing what to do. And I was fortunate enough to find somewhere in my Google searching how to take this apart, and so I'm making this video just for the benefit of anybody who happens to come across one of these rifles and wants to know how to take it down. This is the first gun video I've ever made for YouTube, so bear with me. I don't have a lot of technology around the house, so the sound's not so good on this video, the video's not so good, so sorry about that, but I hope the video is still enjoyable and watchable. Put the magazine tube back in, and then look in that hole and make sure everything's lined up. Put the screw back in, and then give the magazine tube a tug, and that'll make sure you've got that all back together right. It's pretty intuitive. So yeah, the tube's staying in place, so I must have got that screw in right. Now you can put the barrel back in. Just to make this video a little shorter, it took about a minute to get this pin back in. You'll see. Sometimes it goes in with no effort, and it kind of makes you wonder how it stays in the first place. But and everything looks lined up pretty nice and good, but it just didn't want to go in. I ended up tapping it in with the end of a screwdriver, but it went in eventually, and so it's all good. If you have any questions about this rifle or any comments, feel free to leave a comment on the video or send a PM or however YouTube works. I'm happy to hear from anybody. that has any kind of question about this rifle. I'd be glad to help if I can. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just the magazine tube comes in, and it's pretty much back together. I'll put those two screws back in the top of the barrel, and then I'll put the scope back on, but that won't be on the video. Well, hey, thanks for watching the video again. Sorry about the picture and sound, but I hope the video was enjoyable. Feel free, like I said, to leave a comment on the video or send a PM. And I guess that's about it. This is the end of the video.